Hey guys, how's it going? Got a fun one for you today. We are going to do kind of a full rundown on everything we did to this fresh off the lot 23 F-150. But before we get to the goods, take a peek at this short clip. Alrighty guys, now that you've seen just how badass this thing turned out, we're going to kind of walk through and get to the nitty-gritty stuff, everything that we did to it, get your final product here. So for starters, wheels, tires, suspension, obviously we had to do, you know, kind of the best of the best for your daily driver setups, some Nitto Recons, and a set of Fuel Sigma wheels. It was a new wheel that just came out this year, looks pretty sweet, just change it up a little. Bronze looks great with everything, so can't complain there. Suspension wise, we ended up going with, now remember this is kind of a good daily driver setup, not too application specific as far as what they're doing with the truck. So we went ahead and did a rough country 3-inch with the Vertex options, and basically so it is a 3-inch lift. We've got a set of your 2.5-inch body, front and rear. The fronts are coilovers, which are nice. Coilovers are a great setup to go with when you're adding other heavy components like bumpers, anything under the hood, which we'll get to later, but everything you're adding does add weight, where your standard struts might kind of squat down and you'll start to get that factory looking rake. With a set of adjustable coilovers, you can bump them right back up to where you want your ride height to be at. So that's kind of why we opted for that. They are adjustable, 8 positions, front and rear, which again, great for daily driving, especially if you're hauling different weighted trailers, you know, on and off. In the rears, you can crank up your dampening just to help keep that load from bouncing on you. You know, one of the things, especially on the F-150, I mean, all of the trucks in general, your factory 2-inch shocks, some of them are still 1.5 inch, but they're just, you know, they're real light, which they ride awesome. But you can even just yourself get in the bed of the truck and jump up and down and just watch that sucker bounce. Now imagine when you got a load on it, how much that thing's moving down the road, and that all kind of plays a part in how drivable the truck actually is. So that is why we opted for adjustables, 2.5 inchers. You kind of get the best of both worlds. If you want to just hop in her, unload it, hit the road and have a smooth ride, crank them down. You want to haul a lot or get kind of rough off-road, crank them up. She'll handle pretty good for about anything. So that's pretty much a rundown on suspension. Nothing too crazy, just a good setup. We'll get to cosmetics here. As you can see right up front, of course, we had to ditch that low rider front bumper and go with, you know, a pretty good size Fab 4. We've noticed, you know, just throughout the different brands and stuff we've used, we seem to have the best luck with the finish on your Fab 4 bumpers, holding up in winter environments around here, obviously up north. The salt likes to, you know, blow holes in ships. So we like to go with something that'll hold up real good for that, because like I said, it is a daily driver setup. It's nice we can retain the factory fog lights with the Fab 4s. Looks great with the factory headlights, how they have their signatures, little lights that come around, and then obviously added a center light bar there for a little more output in your off-road. So retaining all, you know, adaptive cruise control functions, everything this truck came with still works great. You might not be able to tell from looking at it because it blends in real great, but we did add on a complete Morimoto grill up front. Like I said, it's a complete new grill, full swap over, and what you kind of get is your lights, your kind of your signature lights blend in with your factory signature lights there. So just kind of a daytime running thing. They're also on at night, but they dim with the headlights too, so they look great. It's just more of a factory looking add-on. And then obviously, of course, we had to add on your Putco light up emblem. Especially if you already have the grill off, it's kind of like a why not type of deal. So And again, works with your front camera. All factory features are retained, so that turned out sweet. Another couple of small cosmetic things you probably see up front here are Morimoto ditch lights. These are the HBX. I think these ones are the flood beam, which is, again, those are sweet. If you aren't familiar with these, do a little looking. They're just awesome to have. They look sweet. They're out of the way. You know, you don't notice them too much. You don't get a ton of glare with them being off to the side of the hood. It's just a sweet little add-on for lights for once you get off-road and just really brighten everything around you up. The factory headlights in these are super great, but they're super great for your straight liners. You want to get, you know, off into the ditch a little bit, these are the way to go. Another thing we added, which is just a small thing, but everybody loves them, had to do a 50 cal antenna. Big old swinging factory one, come on now, are you kidding me? Nope, Recon, had to go there for that. So let's see here. Running down the side, we had to go with a set of the amp power steps. Now what we did different, I guess, on this truck compared to a lot of trucks is we actually did their XL series, which gives you this nice, they call it a rock guard. Just kind of a cool thing. There are a little heavier duty than your standard amps. The other nice thing too, again, being daily driver friendly, this rock step also kind of, your step kind of tucks up in there real nice. That way your dirt from your, you know, after you're sticking out tires, dirt, snow, slush, all that would normally get caught up on your step here is nice and clean when they deploy, just because they're tucked up into that guard. So they stay clean, dry, not slippery for you, which is kind of cool. But love the amps, plug and play design, where some of your competitors are, you're running wires for the door trigger sensors, and nope, none of that. Brand new truck, we want her to look brand new still. No wires running nowhere, plug and play, boys. So that's kind of what we did there. In the rear, kind of circling back to suspension, of course, truck does haul trailers. Now that she's leveled up, gotta get some airbags under there. Nobody likes when their friends are laughing at them. So there we are with a nice set of the Ready Air Logic bags. The nice thing about those bags, I think I've told you before, but we really love them. They're awesome. They're fully assembled right out of the box. You basically just bolt them right on. They're sweet. But they are a long travel style bag. So again, you don't lose, you know, how much travel this rear axle has. They will fully extend and fully compress. Obviously, you don't want that to happen when you're hauling trailers, but if you do get off-road and drop them down, they still have the capability. You don't lose a lot of ride quality like your other airbags. So good option there. Again, another kind of upgrade we did with the airbags is we did do the onboard air compressor and controller, which is sweet, works off your smartphone. If you are hooking up to a ton of different trailers out there, you know, let's say you've got job trailers, boat, RV, once you kind of know your pressures that you like everything set at, you can pre-save them. So you hook up your job trailer, hop in the truck, boom, click job trailer, she goes right to the sweet spot. Same thing, RV, boat, the whole nine. It's just kind of a cool app to have. You know, it beats having to air up every single time with you know, your old bike pump or anything like that when you know you're going to be hauling a lot. So just kind of a good touch there. Swinging around to the back, of course, like we said before, we like our brand new stuff to stay looking brand new. So Fab 4 it is on the rear too. Kind of a cool setup with the dual lights in each corner there instead of just your single reverse lights. Kind of one of the cool things we'll show you once we get into the truck is we did wire these lights a little bit separate. So one set on each side we have wired in for your reverse function. They'll pop on when it's in reverse. The other set we have tagged off of kind of an upfitter switch that we put in there. That's just nice for, you know, when you're stopped, if it's nighttime out, you don't have to have the truck in reverse to have those lights turned on. If you need to do something outside, boop, upfitter switch, there they go. So kind of just a cool option though that you get with this bumper running the dual lights setup. Kind of another thing I guess that a lot of people don't think about really that often, but obviously when you go up in the air with your truck, you're gonna need to make sure your trailers aren't going up with you. So just like I said, cheap little thing a lot of people don't think about, but you know, you gotta maintain your level trailer so they still haul nice for you. And drop hitch is the way to go. Opted for aluminum. Again, this truck is a year-rounder, so we don't want her to rust right away on us. Fast way, just a cool setup. We can get all sorts of different hitches, but it's just got really a nice look to it that'll last a while. So I guess another thing we kind of forgot I even did on this, but it's a nice thing, tonneau cover. A lot of people love tonneau covers. Keep everything dry, safe. That's the nice thing too. It adds a little bit of security to whatever you might have in the bed here too. But this Pro X15 cover is super nice. It's more of a matte look. It's a dual layer kind of canvas material, and it's just, it holds up really good. Lifetime warranty. Very, very easy install type of deal too. Just it's an all-around great cover. So did add that onto the back there, keep everything looking flush. And yeah, I'm thinking that's a pretty good rundown of what we got going on the outside there. Alrighty, let's hop on inside. Alrighty guys, now that we're inside here, just one kind of feature we did add onto this truck that we wanted to show you is the switches to run all the lights. So yeah, you've got, you know, nice bumpers and everything for your lights, your ditch lights. You need something to control them. Again, brand new truck. We're not a huge fan of the whole drilling a bunch of holes in your dash, having switches and wires all over. Not a fan. We want to keep it factory looking for years to come. So one thing we did add is the Rough Country switch panel here. It's an 8 switch panel. And basically that's just a controller that runs down to an aftermarket relay and fuse box that we put in under the hood, and it controls everything. You can pick, you know, kind of what labels you want on there. They'll light up for you when you click them. You can change the lighting on it. It just gives you a lot better range, you know, of what you want for your switch options. So it's a pretty cool gig. This truck doesn't have the factory upfitter switches, and on certain makes and models it's easy to add factory upfitter switches. Certain cases, not so much. It's a lot of wiring, a lot of extra hardware that you need. These switches are a cheap alternative way of getting your upfitter switches. And like I said, you have a, you know, an 8-button setup here that you can set up to run whatever state you want, the whole 9. So yeah, pretty cool location up here, out of the way. Lights aren't going to get in your way or blind you. Pretty cool spot there. We wanted to give you a shot. But now that we got that wrapped up, save the best for last. Let's get under the hood. All right, guys, I know he got you excited. We will get under the hood, trust me. But one more thing we have to show you before we do is what allows these bald eagles to scream, baby. A set of Borla tips on this nasty Borla S-type exhaust. It is a pretty sweet setup. Borla, we love Borla. It's a good go-to, bolt-on, super easy to do. Everything holds up real well. It is true full stainless steel setup. We opted for a set of the black chrome tips to match all the other black accents we have on here. It looks pretty sweet, but yeah, I mean, come on. You got a sweet truck like this, you want people to know it. If they aren't already looking, step down on that skiddy pedal, and they will be. So, under the hood we go. Oh, skadoosh. Oh my Lanta, you guys ever seen that much horsepower? Holy smokes. Yep. Like I said, and I wasn't lying, save the best for last. So, these 5-liter V8 trucks move out pretty good on their own with the 10-speed transmission, but we had to give her a little extra help. Again, added a lot of weight to the truck, didn't want to lose power, and you know, there's something I think everyone can agree with that's cool about your kind of your average looking daily driver that'll sit there and smoke a lot of things right off the line. You would never guess this truck's got that kind of power. So we went ahead and opted for the 3-liter Gen 5 Whipple Supercharger. It's a full kit right from Whipple, and let me tell you guys, it install, breeze, the whole 9, everything about the Whipple kit, great. Comes with their calibration. It's just an awesome setup. This is the Stage 2 kit, 775 crank horsepower. And yeah, she wakes that 5-liter right up. It's a pretty sweet setup. Like I said, installs a breeze. I mean, everything about it's a breeze. And come on, it just looks sick. You know, I don't think anyone would ever get bored of popping that hood. So, and this truck, the cool part about it too is Ford did a couple options on these trucks as far as their alternator setup. You have your single alternator, which is your standard package truck, and you also have what they call the Pro Power onboard truck, and it's a 2,000 watt kind of onboard generator in a way. It's just kind of an inverter, and for Ford to be able to run that, they needed 2 alternators. The nice thing with Whipple, they make Pro Power onboard kits, basically different brackets to kind of relocate everything to work well with that second alternator, and it does. It works great. Not a single problem on install or nothing. You never know when you kind of get into some of this aftermarket stuff, especially, you know, supercharger, turbo, you know, anything. Sometimes there's a little modifying, but it was really a great kit. So one more thing, I guess, to kind of show you under the hood here is that switch we were talking about inside. Just to give you an idea, this is our aftermarket fuse panel. It's running on a 60 amp breaker to actually run the whole panel, but it's just a real cool way of, like I said, wiring in all your accessories if you don't have a factory upfitter switch truck. But yeah, now that you see how cool everything looks, let me tell you, it does look cool, but it sounds even cooler. So we're gonna have to hop out on the road and show you what this bad cat can do. Alright guys, as I'm sure you can tell there, I am more familiar with the LSD trucks. This truck happens to be an open diff with an electronic locker. I'm sure you could tell she does one hell of a one wheel peel. Yep, I admit it, forgot to lock in the rear diff. What do? You know, Chevy guys, I'm looking forward to seeing those comments, so bring them on. But yeah, anyways, thanks for tuning in, and look forward to doing more of these.